This is my little corner of the internet where I like to talk about all things Wendy Williams. Hi there, and welcome again back to Week on Wendy. My name is Poughkeepsie Lewis. You may notice that I am in a different location than my past videos. I am babysitting currently, but I still wanted to talk about Wendy Williams. Can we just talk about the looks? Oh my gosh, I can just talk about the looks alone. Loved almost everything that she wore. Which was your favorite look? Mine personally was Thursday, and I can almost talk more about that than anything else. I love her in a long flowy skirt and just beach waves. I love it. We started on Monday, of course, as a week does. She talked about DaBaby. I worry about DaBaby. He had just such a cute little rise to, a level of mainstream popularity that I think a lot of rappers don't. I don't know, how long can he ride this wave of being the bad guy who's gonna get arrested, who's gonna get assault somebody, with the music that he makes. And that's no shade. That is no shade at all, because he does have some good songs, but the issue with DaBaby is that a lot of the times his music does sound the same. So if you're giving us repetitive art and then on top of that you're getting arrested, it's not a good look. And in 5 years you're gonna be on Love and Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be really careful. This episode I am not drinking because I am babysitting. Apparently substances and children don't mix. Who would have known that? People with common sense probably. But today I'm sober. It's actually this thing I'm trying. We'll see how well that does. But we're here to talk about Wendy, okay? Not my substance appreciation issue. On Tuesday, we talked about Star Jones. Oh my gosh, I love Wendy. Okay, we do. Obviously, I have a whole series on YouTube about her, right? And just kicking it off, but still it exists. She talks about Al, Star Jones' ex-husband. Al, you doing whatever. Al says on an interview that Star knew that he was bisexual, and it's why is this news? Why is this a black woman knowingly marries a bisexual man and it's news? Can we just stop discriminating against bi men, pansexual men, queer men? Can we just stop excluding them from the dating pool as black women? We really have got to rise above thinking a man is less of a man, thinking that he's tainted, or he's gonna cheat with man. Newsflash, mama, he's gonna cheat anyway. If you're dating a cheater, they're gonna cheat, okay? If you're dating someone loyal, they're gonna be loyal, and their sexuality isn't gonna have anything to do with it. I don't get that. Oh, but you're blocking your blessings. I'm gonna say that right now. You're blocking your blessings because you see a man, maybe he's dated a man before, whatever, maybe he's just been interested, nothing's happened, and y'all real quick to turn your nose up at him, right? Can we stop doing that? Because love is love. Why do you see them as beneath you? I think you should really question that. I personally love a man for who they are, love a person for who they are. I just want, who's gonna respect and love me the way that I'm gonna respect and love them? I don't know, dude. I just think that black women, we've got to get past this notion that, to be with a bi man is disgusting. Oh my God. So I wasn't really feeling when Wendy was making that news. Wednesday, we talked about Massimo. He is not having a good time in prison. He's uncomfortable. And I feel for him, man, because when you think about it, what he has to do a couple of months in prison. I also think that as a society, as American society, we have to get past this idea that throwing someone in prison is going to be the end-all be-all, right? This is the last time anyone will ever cheat on a test, pay money to get into a school that they don't belong to get into. No, it's not, right? It's going to keep happening, and you just giving this man 5 months isn't going to stop it from happening again. I think if it'd be more productive. What if for maybe the rest of both of their lives, him and Lori Loughlin, his wife, maybe for the rest of their lives, they send, a certain amount of people to college, right? Out of their own pockets. Maybe if there's a way to enforce them to do this. I don't know if would that be just like a regular scholarship or something. I don't know the specifics, but I just think that like putting him in prison, especially at a time where coronavirus is ravaging these prisons. If you do not know, please look into it, okay? Prisoners are being subjected to COVID-19 in a way that a lot of us aren't. When you think about a prison, you think really close quarters with lots of people, right? Guards coming in and out. They're free to leave. They don't live there. They're free to leave. You don't know what they're bringing back, okay? So I think if it takes Massimo being uncomfortable to bring light to the situation, and the fact that people in prison are, subject to cruel and unusual punishment via COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's a really important issue to cover. I mean, yeah, it's Massimo. You need a celebrity's name to be attached to a story, but it's still bringing light to a situation. Speaking of prison, she also talked about the prison fashion show, and if you have not seen it, it's great. You should look for it. I believe it's called the Trenches Store. I think it's really cute. Like, I love Wendy trying to support him, because honestly, I think that the prison that he's at is wrong for trying to punish him with solitary for 9 months. That shit is crazy. What are prisons for? But to take somebody and rehabilitate them to that to a point where that they're better people. Okay, so what is prison really about? Slave labor? And cheap labor, and putting a band-aid on the issues of society. Like I said, we've got to stop thinking that prison is the be-all end-all, when in fact it's just a place that people go when they've been naughty, to link up with other people that have been naughty, to plan naughty things in prison, and then once they leave, it's not, I don't know, maybe you guys can tell, but I'm kind of passionate about prison. And maybe should it be abolished? Should it be heavily reformed? We could try, we can experiment, but I know that what we're doing right now is not working. The USA, oh my gosh, I mean, this is supposed to be fun and entertaining, but this is actually a passion point of mine, so I'm just gonna bring it up. The USA is number 1 in incarceration, and that's crazy, because we're such a freedom country, but we're locking up so many men and women and children. A lot of them are children when they go into prison, as a way to put a band-aid on it, band-aid on our issues. We're not trying to talk about any of our issues. Instead of putting the money up to, I don't mean to get annoying, but instead of putting the money up to educate our people, we're putting money up to file them away in prison. So I do not stand with the prison that is giving that young man solitary for all those months. I don't think that's okay. Okay. Love the fact that Wendy was down with it. Love that she was trying to support him and his business. I mean, you just trying to make lemon out of lemonade. Wendy also talks about how she wants to be a friend of the show of Real Housewives Miami. This is if they come back. I didn't know that they were here the first time, right? But if you know me, I'm not really a housewives head like that. I don't want to see grown-ass women fighting and arguing and getting drunk all the time, unless it's Nene Leakes. I do go out for Nene Leakes. But yeah, apparently Housewives of Miami was a thing, and Wendy was willing to be on it, and I think go for it, girl, because if that's one thing I'll do, if it's Wendy on it, I'll watch it. I'll probably watch compilations of it on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm probably not gonna sit there and watch the whole show. I'm more excited for that if it does come true. If it doesn't, I'm not tripping. Honestly, girl, I'm really not. Thursday we talked about NFL Luchi, YFN Luchi, NBA Luchi, whatever. We talked about Luchi, okay? Now, if you don't know who Luchi is, he is a rapper, best known for using auto-tune, but that's 93% of male rappers anyway. So allegedly he shot somebody or murdered somebody. He was in a car with a 17-year-old. Why? I mean, great point pointed out by Wendy. Why is he in the car with a 17-year-old? 17-year-old male, but I mean, still, why are you hanging out with 17-year-olds? I'm 25, I wouldn't hang out with a 17-year-old. He's a couple years older than me. Apparently they shot somebody, pushed him out of the car. Because it's like, first of all, you know, yeah, why is he hanging out with a 17-year-old? But I mean, most importantly, why are you murdering people and throwing them from cars, right? I don't know. Maybe it's a rapper thing. I've noticed this in rap. Like when you kill somebody, that's clout. But he turned himself in, so I mean, if there's that, there is that. But it's just so weird. Wendy did this thing where she kind of like dramatized it, and honestly, it got really emotional. She kind of played narrator of the scene, you know, the person getting, a woman getting out of her car to like cradle him after he took his last breath, and then in the weirdest transition, but of course it's Wendy, okay, so things are always going to be just a little bit off. She's, you know, describing this woman going up to this man and holding this man as he's taking his last breaths and begging her to call 911, and then she's like, and we've got more great show, and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, you just played out a murder, right? You know that, right? I mean, it's just weird, but that's why I love Wendy, for like the weirdness, right? 'Cause she serves it up on a platter for me. She does, I tell you. She does. So I would say weirdest moment of the week was that one. But I have noticed that with rappers, because I don't listen to really I don't really listen to music, but if I'm gonna listen to music, it's more like hip hop, rap, whatever. Notice that with like rappers, they glorify people who, not rappers so much, but like rap culture, rap fans, they glorify people who murder other people, which is disgusting to me. You see that with, you know, TK, you see that with 3 Letters, Melly. They murder somebody, they write a song about it, they're famous. And I think that's really sick, and I want to get away from that, and I really hope that that isn't the way that Luchi is going to go. Thursday, she also had Beth Smith on. She has been to the show before, but kind of like on a panel before, but this was like her actually being in the seat. I think she's the first guest who's been in the seat, like physically, and not just like on a screen, since the show came back from Pandora? Poughkeepsie, from you know, the Poughkeepsie. So she's trying to pressure or like, you know, guide Beth Smith into saying names of people in her book, which during the quarantining I did pick up Wendy's Got the Heat. I read it in like 3 days, and she didn't name names. So she's being a little bit hypocritical, like, Bevy, you need to name names. Wendy, you should have named names when you had your book. How about that? But I guess she's making up for it now because, you know, in her documentary, which, girl, yes, I'm watching. If you're wondering if I'm watching it, I am watching it, okay? I'm watching it and I'm making a video about it. So we're going to discuss it together, so watch it with me, okay? Please. So on Friday, we wrapped up the show talking about, damn it, I forgot his name. Minka Kelly and the one comedian from Trevor Noah. Minka Kelly and Trevor Noah. Apparently they're together. They're moving in. Good for them. Love that. But then Wendy like gave her like this kind of like old-fashioned advice of like, hurry up and get pregnant. Like, seal the deal. And I just think that like, oh, maybe that's just like me, but like, don't try to cement a relationship with the baby. I just feel like that is probably toxic advice. I feel like if you're gonna have a kid, like, have a kid out of love, because I don't know why people have kids, but you have a kid for a good reason, and not to just like submit your stability of being on this man's payroll. It gave really toxic it gave toxic femininity to me, honestly, because whenever someone's like, oh, have a kid so someone will stay with you or anything like that, that's toxic. It's using your body for bad, and I don't like that. I don't stand for that. But again, maybe she's just giving her some advice that's like out of my tax bracket, and I'm just too poor to you know, respect game. I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. So that was Our Week in Wendy. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe, you have to. Feel free to like, you have to. What is the other thing that people say? Like, subscribe. I don't know. You know what? Leave a comment. Leave a comment of your favorite part of the week that I mentioned, or how you feel about prison and cell phones, or prison and fashion shows. Or how you feel about quantum physics. I don't have a personal opinion, but if you have a personal opinion, congrats. I love that for you. Yeah, my medal is kicking in. I have to go.